Hello everyone, welcome to Passion Studies. My name is Dikshant Sharma and आज इस वीडियो में बहुत ही एक इम्पॉर्टेंट डिस्कशन रहेगी, एक इंटरव्यू रहेगा जो कि आपको बहुत हेल्प करेगा इन योर बुक रीडिंग पार्ट. काफ़ी टाइम से हम लोगों ने एक बुक रीडिंग सेशन नहीं किया था एंड दिस टाइम आई हैव कम अप विद माय वन वेरी गुड फ्रेंड जानवी एंड जानवी के साथ आज हम थोड़ा डिस्कशन करेंगे अबाउट बुक रीडिंग. कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे एंड दिस इज़ गोइंग टू बी रियली वेरी ग्रेट. यू विल एंजॉय द सेशन. आपके बहुत सारे जो मुझे क्वेश्चंस भी आते हैं ऑन द कम्युनिटी टैब और ऑन द इंस्टाग्राम, तो उन्हीं क्वेश्चंस को मैंने कंपाइल करके वी हैव मेड अ स्मॉल क्वेश्चनर एंड उसके बेस पे हम कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे एंड यू पीपल विल बी गेटिंग द आंसर्स, राइट? So I want to first ask Jahnavi to kindly introduce herself to our passionates. So Jahnavi, please.
First of all, thank you for having me, Dikshant. So hello everyone. I'm Jahnavi Chawla. I'm basically from Sangroor, Punjab, and I'm currently pursuing BA English Honours from G.G.D.S.D College Chandigarh.
Nice to hear that. So Jahnavi is a very inquisitive learner and a reader, I would say. Whenever we have a conversation, Jahnavi, so मतलब हमेशा हमारी जो बात होती है, आई हैव सीन कोई ना कोई बुक या फिर जॉनर के ऊपर बात करते हैं एंड आई ऑलवेज आस्क कि यार तुमने ये बुक रीड की है. तो हमारी हमेशा या इंस्टा पे भी लाइक वी कीप शेयरिंग द पोस्ट्स ऑफ डिफरेंट ऑथर्स एंड समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो आई हैव ऑलवेज फेल्ट कि जानवी में जो एक बुक रीडिंग की क्यूरियोसिटी है दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी I would say high, and I feel that should be utilized by me for my dear passionates कि हाँ चलो उनको कुछ सीखने को मिले through जानवी. So my first question from जानवी would be that जो एक book reading है जानवी, that is a very important skill in everyone's life अगर वो उसको continue करता है. तो क्या है इम्पॉर्टेंस बुक रीडिंग की एक इंसान के लाइफ में, राइट? व्हाट इज़ द इम्पॉर्टेंस ऑफ बुक रीडिंग इन योर लाइफ और इन एनी स्टूडेंट्स लाइफ और इन एनी पर्सन's लाइफ बेसिकली. सो प्लीज़ emphasize on that part.
So about book reading, I can go on and on for the whole day. There are innumerable things that I would like to say. But जो सबसे ज़रूरी चीज़ है, first of all, book reading acts as an escape from the real life. That's for me. मतलब if you are facing any kind of problem, isolation, especially in lockdown when everyone was isolated in their own houses, you couldn't meet your friends, then book reading books especially came as a savior to me. It was really helpful. Then there are other things like vocabulary. You can increase your vocabulary by reading books, and it also makes you help express yourself better. You can enhance your speaking skills, and there are many other things also. Career wise, if you have to choose literature, then book reading also comes in handy because literature is all about reading, writing, speaking. So
so I would say dear passionates कि यहाँ पर जो हमें बेनिफिट्स मिले हैं दे आर आई वुड से रियली रियली वेरी ग्रेट, राइट? बिकॉज अगर आप इनको अपनी लाइफ में कैरी फॉरवर्ड करते हो सो यू आर गोइंग टू गेट आई वुड से मैक्सिमम आउट ऑफ इट रादर लूजिंग एनीथिंग. ओके, सो दैट्स वेरी नाइस जानवी. नेक्स्टली आई वॉन्ट टू आस्क यू दैट how did you start your book reading practice, I would say, or this journey, right? So from which age basically you started and what was the experience and gradually how you went into this process? So please tell about this in a very historical perspective.
So I think I've been reading since even before I can remember. So my mom used to tell me that I used to take all of my course books, which were maybe I was in kindergarten, and throw them all around me and start reading any random thing. And I also used to be very excited during the start of the academic year when we used to get new books. So I used to go through them all of them before even classes started. So that was the start. And when my parents saw that I am showing interest in reading, so they used to buy this children's magazine called Magic Pot, which used to publish every 15 days. So I used to ask my father every 15 days to take me to the store where I used to buy that magazine. So I think that is the first thing that I read, except from my course books, which were obviously in syllabus. So that continued for maybe 3-4 years, and then I started getting bored of it because it is meant to be for small children, obviously. So then maybe I was in 2nd or 3rd grade when my aunt gifted me my first novel ever. It was The Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days. It's a yellow colored book, and I still have that book in possession. So yeah, I think that was my first ever novel. So I didn't read novels per se before that book, and I read it all through the night. It took me maybe 5 hours. It's a very small book and doesn't have many words, but it still took me 5 to 6 hours to read it, and I enjoyed that experience very much. So after that, there were around 10 to 15 books in that series, and slowly I started buying all of them. And so the Diary of the Wimpy Kid series was my first ever series that I read as a child. But when those books, when that series were exhausted, so I started looking for some other alternative. So then I found out Roald Dahl. So Roald Dahl was an excellent writer. He passed away many years ago. So there was a book by him called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that was gifted to me by my cousin. Yeah, many of my earlier collection books were gifted to me by someone.
They were the gifts.
Yeah, either my cousins or my aunts or whatever. So yeah, that was the first book I read other than, Magic Pot and The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So then I started buying all the Roald Dahl books, and then I gradually discovered Harry Potter and other fantasy novels. So yeah, I was maybe in 2nd or 3rd grade when I read my first ever novel, and then I haven't stopped since. Yeah.
So that was really mesmerizing, I would say. मतलब जिस तरीके से Jahnavi, you told us about the past, the aunt gifted the book. So I think that's really एक ऐसी चीज़ होती है जिसमें excitement भी बहुत होती है, and those gifts really means a lot to us when they are gifted by someone. So yeah, that was really good. Now moving further, I want to ask the next question, that is कि अगर हम देखते हैं book reading, so book reading is very a personal experience for everyone. मतलब सबके लिए वो सेम नहीं रहता है. Many of my students say कि जो बुक रीडिंग है जब हम स्टार्ट करते हैं तो अटेंशन स्पैन नहीं बन पाता है, राइट? मतलब हम 1 पेज पढ़ते हैं, 2 पेज पढ़ते हैं, सो वी आर नॉट एबल टू कंटिन्यू दैट बुक फर्दर. सो what you will say in this regard, that how to continue the बुक रीडिंग प्रैक्टिस फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम? मतलब इसमें एक इसको रूटीन कैसे बनाएं, एक हैबिट कैसे बनाएं, राइट? सो हाउ वन कैन अचीव a daily target of reading a book in a very consistent way and make it a daily routine, rather I would say कि उस चीज़ को वो bore feel करे and he gets like irritated, right? So yeah, please emphasize on this part.
So the thing I have observed over the years among young readers is that when they start reading, they always go for the famous name authors like Shakespeare, Agatha Christie, Emily Bronte. These are classic writers. They have classic books which are taught in higher level English courses like honors and even masters. They have written excellent books, but they are not for everyone. They have a very high level vocabulary, and many of them use older versions of English that may not be understood by today's generation. So rather than choosing the books that are famous, we should try to understand what genres we like, first of all. So yeah, if I tell my preference, then maybe YA fiction and fantasy are my favorite genres, even though I'm a little older for YA fiction. So yeah, the first thing is that you need to understand what genre you like, and do not pick up the books that you won't be able to read. It's a very gradual process. Start from small books which do not have too many pages, and then you can build up. And the other thing for attention span is many children have a condition called ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which sorts itself out when they grow up. But some adults can also have this condition, and if you are facing this kind of problem, I think the best thing is to meditate, have some patience, find a book that you like, and then start from there.
मतलब यहाँ पर जो चीज़ें जानवी ने बताई है, दे आर रियली वेरी बेनिफिशियल इंडीड, एंड यू आर गोइंग टू get a lot of benefits, right? Moving further, Jahnavi, I want to ask that book reading, this experience, how book reading impacted your life. Tell us about the validation, perspective about this book reading. मतलब कुछ change आपकी life में आया हो, and something you got, and how this has made your life a special one, I would say, right? Because book reading एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो सबकी लाइफ में एक कुछ ना कुछ impact या कुछ ना कुछ special लाती है, right? So how it has impacted your life? Like, what's your personal experience basically?
So there are a couple of things that I would like to discuss. First of all, books are really my best friend. I know this is a cliche, but yeah, never in my life have I felt lonely, alone, or anything. Books have always been beside me, and I have always loved to read them, and they have also proved as a source of entertainment. Along with that, they have also given me validation, a sense of achievement. Apart from that, books have also helped me broaden my horizons, always provided a new perspective in any matter, any question in life. There's always a book that you can read if you have any doubt in life. So yeah, they have always helped me. I have always gained something instead of losing.
So Jahnavi told a very influential stance over here, that is कि she always gained something rather losing, और यही सबसे बड़ा I think impact है Jahnavi which you have realized in your life, I would say. And yeah, books are our best friends. This is like something which we hear or which we just like see framed in the books, but yeah, when we really talk and when we really analyze this thing in our own life, then we really, I would say, feel कि yeah, books are really our best friends. कि जब हम उनको start करते हैं पढ़ना, या फिर जब उनको हम start करते हैं explore करना. So yeah, like the one who really reads, he or she knows, yeah, that really books are their best friends. Okay, so moving further, Jahnavi, you were telling about your journey that 100 books you have completed, right? So I think that moment was really very special when you completed your 100th book, right? So full series. So how you felt? You were telling me that you have your own small library, and even I want to tell Jahnavi gifted me a small stamp, in which it was mentioned from the library of Dikshant Sharma. So Jahnavi is inclined very much towards the book section. So yeah, please tell us about that all process, about your library also, and about your book journey completing the 100th one.
So I think it was the year 2018 when I read my 100th book. So the day that book arrived, the same day I started reading it, I finished it, and then I called my brother. I asked him to come to my room, and then I stacked all 100 of those books till the top of the upper bunk of my bed, and then I clicked the commemorative picture, and that was the happiest I felt in forever. That was a really happy day and a great time. Yeah, complete bliss. And since that day I have stopped counting the books I read, because I don't think it matters. 100 books were good, but I don't think that I have to keep doing that again and again. So yeah, and about my library, so I have this thing, a dream that we can say. I want to have a personal library, a small library of my own with as many books as one can imagine. And I have also gotten a stamp that says from the library of Janvi. And I have also gifted a couple of them to Dikshant. This is the only dream that I have, except obviously my career.
Janvi, nextly I want to ask you that nothing is, I would say, hurdle free. In every situation, in everything, we face some hurdles, some problems, or some amount of obstacles, I would say. So, book reading is also a very divine experience, or you would say a very complete bliss experience, joyful experience. But I think, sometimes there are some problems. So have you ever faced any problem or any hurdle, while reading any book, or like through that journey? So anything if you want to emphasize.
Okay, so I have faced something called a reader's block a couple of times in my life, and there was a massive one during the lockdown where I could not pick up. There was a huge TBR pile in front of me, dozens of books, but I could not pick one of them, and I have not understood why. But it is something that goes away by itself. You just have to give it a couple of months. Yeah, so I have experienced a reader's block a couple of times, but it's nothing to be worried of. It goes away with time, and it's not that it does not impact your reading skills or your time at all. So it happens sometimes, and it goes away on its own.
Okay. So, framing over here, I think it can be due to some environmental conditions surrounding us, like lockdown.
Yeah,
so,
lockdown.
So sometimes the mood swings also, I would say, that they play an important role. Like we are not able to focus, we are not able to, go into the readings. So yeah, that's something. But yeah, as Janvi told, it is a part. It's a journey in your book reading process. It goes on, it will, I would say, come, but yeah, the one who is very inclined to this book reading process, उसके लिए कभी ये चीज़ एक I would say pause नहीं बनेगा. It will continue. You have to just like accept this, I would say. आपको accept करना है, and then you have to continue. Okay, Janvi, I think we have we have gone through many couple of questions, and it is like lovely, and it is very great interacting with you, and the viewers, I would say, उनको भी बहुत अच्छा एक perspective मिल रहा है book reading का. So Janvi, at last, just I want to ask anything you want to convey to the youth or to our passionates about book reading, and we have some books over here as you bought, and you want to suggest these books, so please give a small gist also, and please suggest these books.
So I have brought 3 books to recommend you all, the viewers of Passion Studies. So the first one is Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo. It is a great book. It is a non-fiction book, and it contains posts from the author on his LinkedIn or Twitter page. So in the starting of the book, the first page, the author has asked his readers to not read this book in a single sitting, basically. So this is a very unique thing. I have not seen this in many other books. So the author has asked to play book cricket with this book, which means that every single day open a random page, read what's written in it, and apply it in your life. It's as simple as that. So that's a thing that I found very unique. And the second book is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. It is a great book. It will make you cry. It will make you laugh out aloud also at some time. Yeah, this is a must-read book, and I won't give out spoilers about this. You have to read it yourself. And
it's a suspense.
Yeah. And the third book is Find Me by Andre Aciman. This is also a great book. This is actually the second book of the series. The first one is Call Me by Your Name. Call Me by Your Name. This is also a very great book, and please read this. All 3 of these books are highly recommended. Now that we have discussed what to read. The books that I have brought today, these are great books, but you do not have to read them. There is nothing like you have to read these books or must read books in this world. You just have to read the things that you like, even if it's fiction, it's non-fiction. And there is something that I would like you all to know. Even if you don't like reading books, you should try to read some non-fiction books, which will help you change your outlook towards life. And many people have told me that after they read non-fiction books, like there are many books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Ikigai, these are very famous, and they said that after they read these books they enjoyed them, but afterwards they forgot everything which was written in them. So the thing I would like to share is that you do not have to remember every single thing, but when you read that book, it's somewhere in your subconscious mind changes something and it helps you, believe me. So please try reading. Even if you do not like fiction, try reading non-fiction books.
Very nice to hear this, Jahnavi, from you, and I think this is really very insightful indeed. So, students and the viewers, I would say, Jahnavi today has told numerous facts and things. आपका काम क्या है कि इनको grasp करना and tell us that what you learned actually. आपके बहुत सारे questions भी होंगे, so just frame them in the comment section. If you want to ask some more questions, we can have one more session, on the viewers' demand, and Jahnavi would really love to answer them. And the things which Jahnavi told us today, they will be really beneficial if you really implement them in your daily life, right? It's not about just listening or hearing, it's about implementing, right? As I always tell, जब तक आप अपनी लाइफ में उस चीज़ को उतारोगे नहीं, right? मतलब आप अपनी लाइफ में उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड नहीं करोगे, till then it is of no use, right? So stress busters le lo, right? As I feel ki for me personally, book reading is a stress buster, and I always tell my students that I can't read very lengthy books, right? As I tell you also, I am a very inquisitive reader, but I feel that I can read short articles, short books, short stories, and I am more into self-help books. Right, so self-help books gives me more inspiration and a way to move forward in life. Right, there was a time when I went through many, fictional books. Also, I used to, read William Wordsworth, the romantic poet, and the most academic poem of him, that is poem that Daffodils, right? So that was really, I would say, lovely poem, right? And many other authors also. Khalil Gibran, that he also inspired me. So there's a time. So we move forward. So we have to just what we have to see. We have to explore this journey. What I felt from Jahnavi's wordings today. If you have any question from Jahnavi, you can text me. I'll refer it to Jahnavi, right? She will answer the questions. And if you have more questions, if we get good response, we'll have another such session, right? So Jahnavi, if you want to say something at last.
So thank you very much. I really enjoyed this session.
My pleasure.
And I would also enjoy many more sessions like these in the future. And just like Dikshant said, if you have any questions, please write them down in the comment section. The links to Instagram, Facebook and Twitter are mentioned in the description. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for watching this session. Have a great time and all the very best.